Alright folks, welcome back. I'm the Mysterious JG, and we are wandering around through the future under the plan, which has been given to us by Senator Ryder, who is... I mentioned Ron Paul a couple times kind of jokingly because of the Senator Ryder doesn't seem to want to spend money on much of anything. But, in fairness, Ron Paul's pretty consistent in his views, and he really doesn't want us to spend lots of money on military and stuff either. And I've never heard Ron Paul really courting the fundamentalist Christians. But there's kind of a Republican dream, Democrat nightmare world that's being formed here. And I shouldn't even say it's a Republican dream. This is just kind of... This is very much a game that was written by somebody who's a little bit left-leaning, and he's talking about a pretty unpleasant future, it seems like, to me. But, I guess we could try to go to the airport terminal, but I think that's just a subway stop. I don't think there's anything interesting happening there. We could go over to the high school and see what's happening there. Or to Wells and Pickford Theater. We could see what kind of shows are playing. That might be interesting. So let's try going north. No, we have to go southeast, I think, and then north. That's the base gate again. What am I doing here? I'm trying to get to... Oh, northeast is going to be the airport entrance. Sorry. And there's really nothing of interest being described there. Whoa, record buffer full. I must not have turned it off. Oh, well. In that case, let's exit simulation. And it's after midnight. We're going to let it all hang down. It's after midnight, so Dr. Perlman's probably not here. I dream of my childhood and later of Jill. And I notice about 6 hours have passed. It's morning in America. Let's look around the office, see if he's come in yet. I'm still in sleep mode. Enter communication mode. Look. Oh, I'm not actually at a location. When you go to sleep in Perlman's office, you don't stay in Perlman's office. You switch off all of your communication ports to the outside, I guess. Is he here? No. This gets really old after a while. I don't know anything to do except wait for him to show up. So he walks in carrying a cup of coffee at 10:18 in the morning. Jeez. Perlman, look at recordings, you lazy so-and-so. Z, 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 Z. Z. Okay, everyone agrees your recordings from 2051 are reading. We need more than enough recordings from other years. He wants more stuff from 2061. Enter simulation mode. So we're just going to keep walking around in 2051 or 61 looking at like nightmarish visions of the future when it's ruled by religious zealots and fascists. And then we'll come back and have some more fun. So, Aqua 85. So, I apologize if you believe that dinosaur bones were left by God as like a trap to trick us into believing in like evolution. This is probably not your game if that's what you're into. Now the game has made its political stance pretty clear here. We can now go 30 years into the future. We eventually, I think, can go even farther into the future than that, but... Alright, so we got to figure out some place to go that we haven't been to before. There might be something really obvious I'm missing, and if so, I apologize. We're at Southway and River, I think. Yeah. We could go down to like the... Oh, you know what? I've been totally ignoring this part of town, which you may or may not be able to see depending on whether my cursor is being recorded. But I'm talking about like where the hardware store, the warehouses, the tenements. This is like already the bad part of town. There's a gun shop down there. We could try to buy a gun and see what would happen. There's a bookstore. There's a lot of stuff down here that we haven't really looked at. Let's go south a couple times. You've entered a large hardware store stocked with various tools and hardware. Nothing all that interesting here. You've crossed proverbial railroad tracks. Still urine. This place always kind of sucked. Vacant lot. This lot is completely empty except for a few concrete footings that must have once formed the foundation of some large building. A rusting, overgrown set of railroad tracks borders the far side of the lot. An intersection of two streets lies to the east. Tenement. You are in the lobby of a rundown apartment building. These apartments were probably considered desirable when built. West Industrial Park entrance. An old gray warehouse stands in the northern corner. An ugly tenement is just east of here. North. You've entered a warehouse filled with dusty crates. The exit is to the south. An alarm begins to ring loudly. Record. Z. 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 Damn it, record off. I figured cops were going to come shoot me or something. So I just wasted a lot of space on my recording. Because when I went into the warehouse, nothing happened. Let's go to the power station. Record. East. Power station entrance. Okay, street continues, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing really that great going on at the power station entrance. We can go south into the power station. This is a central power station for all of Rockville. Power is generated here by fusion reactors, as well as by more environmentally damaging coal-burning generators. Power is received from distant generators by a huge array of microwave receivers. Record off. Okay. If we get to go to a future area, I have a feeling that that generator is going to explode. But for right now, this is a Sky Car factory. To the northeast. The Omnibus Sky Car Factory, the last surviving smokestack industry in the area, provides jobs to many residents of the city and the suburbs across the river, although not nearly as many as before. The suspension of federal regulations limiting robotic job replacement. Judging by the number of cars in the workers' lot, the general level of activity, the plant is running at less than half of capacity. There are exits from this complex of buildings in northwest and southwest. Northwest factory entrance. Record. North. Gun shop. You are in a small armament store with metal bars over the counter, separating you from the proprietor. There is an exit to the south. Buy gun. The proprietor shows you many different firearms, and you finally settle on a .22 caliber pellet gun. However, when you pass your credit through the grill of the proprietor, he looks disappointed as he announces that you don't have enough in your account for that particular gun. In fact, he says, I doubt there's anything in the shop in your price range. You might try Ribeiro's second-hand firearms over in Yankton. Record off. What a nightmare we will live in when guns are expensive. A liquor store occupies the southern corner of... Okay, Wicker and Pier. Northeast of here, Wicker curves northwards and passes under an old railway trestle. An aging wooden pier leads off to the southeast. On the eastern corner of the street is what appears to be a bookstore. A liquor store occupies the southern corner, and a row of dismal apartment buildings lines the northwestern side. Okay, let's record. Let's go to the liquor store. That's always a good place to get depressed. A small establishment stocked with cheap scotch and other liquor. There's an exit to the north. Buy liquor. You pick out a bottle of cheap scotch. After a moment, the clerk returns your card, informing you that your account has been debited for $22 and your new balance is $178. Drink scotch. Jill would kill you if you came home drunk. We'd share it with her. Bookstore. A less likely place for a bookstore you couldn't imagine. This one seems to be stocked mostly with used books. Closely placed shelves filled with old books rise to the ceiling, and a pleasant, papery odor fills the shop. The front door leads west. The proprietor smiles at you kindly. Buy book. After browsing for several minutes, something catches your eye. A handsome edition of Baum's The Wizard of Oz. Oh no! We're going to, Oh no, I'm blanking. Yes, I think we're about to, find out that this world is actually the world of Zardoz. That's the big surprise ending, is that this is about to become Zardoz. Eagerly, you give your credit card to the proprietor. After a moment, the proprietor returns your card, informing you that your account has been debited for $30. Okay, so at least a book costs more than scotch, I think. Read book. The book, an aging copy of that timeless fable, The Wizard of Oz, is in startlingly good condition and features the original classic illustrations. You skim a few factors, remembering the joy of the tale from your younger days, and now we're out of space because I basically blew this this trip. I don't think we really gained anything here. Exit simulation. P off. Wait for Perelman to show up. And that's Esther again, because it's 422. Perelman is too busy with the project to go home and see his family. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. We'll have a good time then. Anyway, he's telling us the exact same thing. Oh. We certainly have some serious concerns. Okay, Prism, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings that you made, and we certainly have some serious concerns based on them. However, you didn't show us anything from simulations past 2061 to really give us a complete picture. Well, we didn't have the option. I guess we just unlocked that. Maybe you could collect some more data, make some more recordings, and then report back to us. Well, I've got to run, but I'll talk to you later. He leaves the room to go talk to his daughter. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. The corresponding code is dark gray 29. Sorry. Okay, well that probably means we can actually go to that time period now. 13. Yeah, there's now a simulation for 40 years in the future. Bodansky Square, this is, okay, we are now in March 1st, 2071, 10 years after our only child left to join the Church of the Weird Dudes. Bodansky Square, this is a large plaza formed by the intersection of Bodansky Boulevard from the east, Center Street from the southwest, and River Street from the north and south. There's an abandoned car lot on the western side of the square. On the northeastern corner is a restaurant, and the Church of God's Word can be entered to the southeast. A sealed-off stairway indicates a former entrance to the tubes. Sidewalks and streets are crowded with people. Record. Southeast. Church lobby. The regional church headquarters of the church is an architectural splendor. Light spills down from above, giving the illusion that the countenance of God is gazing upon a visitor in full force and fury. A huge image of a radar dish. This is all the same. Hangs above the inner sanctums to the east. Oh, can you actually go to the inner sanctums? And impressively tall arched doorways lead out to the northwest and southwest. A wooden rack in the lobby for the purpose of distributing literature contains one pamphlet. Read pamphlet. Our Father in Heaven, new pronouncements from the Mount. Our Father in Heaven is pleased with the progress of the Church is making towards purifying his flock, and assures the faithful that the day of deliverance is soon. He has instructed that new worship camps for the impure be opened in every part of his favorite nation. He has instructed that these be filled with more of the beasts in human form, who have not joined the Church, or who are not considered fit to join the Church, so that they may be purified and sent to meet him. He has instructed that only the officials of the Church may hold governmental posts, in order to speed his work and facilitate the dawning of the new Eden. He has, in his generosity, increased the number of slaves a churchman may own from 25 to 50. This is the word of God. Blessed be his name. Yeah, I think Steve Moretsky is in a big... I don't know. Is he like... was he one of those guys who... left the Mormon church and got shunned by his family, or like a Baptist, or I don't know. He didn't seem to be big on the conservative religious groups. Only church officials allowed to enter the inner areas. Southwest. Oh, turn record. I have a feeling we might want to keep record on this entire time, actually. Eastbound Midland Avenue forms a T with River Street at this intersection. Okay. Car lot occupies the southeast corner. I'm hoping that we can actually get home. Main and River, it's a typical four-way intersection. Elm and River. Maybe I should shut off. Maybe I better turn the record buffer off, actually. Because I thought like every single screen we went to, there'd be horrible scenes of decay, but... Elm and River, we go south, west, west. I want to go visit Jill and see how she's doing, because she's had a pretty rough time. South. And we've still got the that building which caught fire. West. West. This is slightly changed, so I'll read this. We're at Southway and Park. Southway bends sharply in this intersection, leading east and southwest. Park Street begins here and leads north. There are aging buildings on the northeast and western corners, and even older-looking buildings to the northwest and southeast. A grocery store with grimy windows, barely transparent enough to reveal a large sign reading, "Rations for 4s, 5s, and 6s today," spans the southern side of the street. I guess we could go into that store real quick and just get a look at how shitty it is. According to note on the door, the Foodville is only open from 11:30 a.m. until 4 in the afternoon. West, Parkview Apartments. You are in the vestibule of a typical high-rise city apartment building. A wide expanse of labeled buzzers and tiny mailboxes fills one wall. The mailboxes have been extensively vandalized and graffiti is sprayed across every surface. Shattered glass doors, held together by cheap wooden boards, lie close in the west. Next to this inner door is a tangle of cords. The picture phone has been ripped out by vandals. The street lies to the west. Unlocked door. West. And the elevators are out as usual. North, no knock on door. There's no response. Unlocked door. North. This is a large living area of your apartment with a bedroom to the north and a kitchen to the east. The front door of the apartment next to the couch on the south wall is open. A huge window provides a panoramic view to the west. Jill's current artistic endeavor, a pencil sketch, is on her easel near the entrance of the kitchen. In one corner is the old word processor where you do your writing. Jill is sitting on the couch staring mostly out the window. She didn't answer the door. Look at picture. The sketch is dark and brooding, depicting a demonic figure towering over a frightened group of children. It's been months since you last saw Jill working on it. Jill, hello. Jill staring silently out the window. Doesn't reply. Hold, Jill. Jill takes little notice. Okay, east. You're going to the kitchen. Open fridge. Look in fridge. Loom in fridge. It's empty. The recording buffer's half full. Close the fridge. Don't want to waste power. Bedroom is sparsely furnished with a bed and a bureau. Bathroom is to the east. In the east is the bathroom. There's not a lot going on. Comfort Jill. Kiss Jill. Jill kisses you briefly without much enthusiasm. Wait. I just have a feeling something's happening here. Time passes. With the roar of tromping feet, 6 or 8 heavily armed church police storm into the apartment. You see a look of horror come over Jill as she covers her mouth with the back of her hand, as though stifling some silent scream. You follow her gaze, and a shock of recognition sauntering in behind the police. The 10 years since you last saw him have left scant change on the face of your son. "Mitchell!" you yell. Ma, Mitchell. He's always bound in his. Sorry. And take a step towards him, but a blow from one of the cops sends your frail old body flying against the wall. Yeah, you would be like 34 years older than you were when you had him. She is the one. The voice is Mitchell's, but the tone is cold, unrecognizable, sending shivers through you. He raises a fur-clad arm, pointing at his mother without a hint of emotion. She spake against the church. She tried to poison the mind of a child too young to know the truth. The thugs grab Jill, who reaches towards Mitchell, tears of terror streaming down her face. Totally unresponsive, he turns and walks calmly out of the apartment. As Jill is dragged, screaming and crying, through the front door, you try to follow, but a cop pummels you in the stomach with his club. You fall to the floor, retching, as the apartment door slams closed, shutting you off forever from your son you can't understand and the wife you will never see again. Well, shit. Record off. Let's get back to our mission. Kill self. Dumb. Agreed. Down. East. Let's head back to the liquor store. Oh, there's no entry into Hyman World in that direction. Alright, Hyman World, eh? Record on. In an alley between 2 buildings, you spot 2 church policemen shooting an old woman with silenced guns. They drag her out of view. You know, I finally had a chance to watch Bobo's LP of that game where he's like a copy editor on a newspaper, and no matter what, spoiler alert, no matter what he does, there's kind of an unpleasant ending. You might want to watch him play that, so I don't want to give away exactly, but it's kind of dark game. I think this game's darker. East. This is not why I'm playing. I didn't play it so I could like beat Bobo at darkness or anything. This old indoor city has become exactly what its critics predicted it would become, a vast indoor slum. You would be well advised to use the exits that lie to the west and southwest. Crack. Something hits you from behind. As you crumple to the ground, you catch a glimpse of someone wielding a metal bar. Unknown minutes later, your head clears and you stagger slowly to your feet. Everything you were carrying is gone. Well, I'm glad I was recording. Southwest. Bend. Pharmacy to the southwest. Drugstore. This is one of those pharmacies that sells everything from milkshakes to magazines. There's a door leading northeast. A clerk waits nearby. Oh, this actually doesn't seem to have changed. Recording buffer is full. Well, I mean, shit. My wife was dragged away by the secret church police who've turned my son into a murder zealot. He didn't murder anyone. We watched some cops shoot somebody, and we got mugged. We might have enough information here. Exit simulation. Although we didn't see, I was convinced that nuclear power reactor was going to explode. That doesn't seem to have happened. Pee off? Dr. Perlman is sitting at his desk. Thank you. We don't have to wait for him this time. Perlman, watch recordings. Quickly! You recorded something interesting, eh? Wait. Prism, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings that you made, and we certainly have some serious concerns based on them. However, you didn't show us quite enough from 2071 or anything from 2081 to really give us a complete picture. Maybe you could collect some more data. Okay, so apparently we got to find some more stuff in 2071, and apparently 2081 is now available. Let's look at 2071 a little bit first. We'll save 2081 for last, because that's when I think the entire cityscape will be like a... The entire city will be a burning hellscape in 2081 because of lowering firearm regulation, courts not deciding strongly against churches, and cutting government subsidies of stuff. That's I think the game it's interesting. I mean, I like the way it's interesting the way it's put together. You have to go out and explore it and find it. It doesn't just like present. It is in text, of course, because it's a text adventure, but it's not just somebody's, written their essay about how crappy the world will be if, Reaganomics were to continue on indefinitely. But, yeah, the fact that you have to go and explore and find it kind of makes it different, doesn't it? Let's go into the simulation again, shall we, folks? Let's see if it gets cheerier this time. Light gray 49. What do I need to be? I need to be here. Light gray 49, did it say? '23. We'll stick with 30 years in the future. Southway and River. Did I mean to go farther in the future than this? Yeah, I did. Shoot, exit simulation. Exit simulation. Enter. It's going to make me do the password again, though. Aqua 64. Yeah, crap. Aqua 64 was the game about... It's actually Agua 64. It was a game about water that came out on the Nintendo 64. The code is 73. Let's go to 2071. A church police paddy wagon goes slowly down the street, stopping here and there to take someone prisoner. You see, I think that if we just had... I can't help but think that you would be able to fight back with, like, if nothing else, guns. They got the guns, but we got the numbers. Something, and we're taking over. Apparently, if you go to the zoo, you'll see that the animals are not well fed, but I don't think we'll get much out of doing that. Let's go I think just a beeline south and then checking around the already poor neighborhoods could be interesting. Yeah, I really don't know where it is we're supposed to go to find stuff. Or we could head over to the zoo. We're going to the zoo. We're going to the zoo. Or we could go to the military base. We might get killed if we do that. North twice, east, then northwest. It's worth a shot. Let's see if we get shot by the military. This is the kind of game, but that's going to happen at some point. North, airport and river. East. Airport symphony entrance. Out of the corner of your eye, you glimpse something that looks like a panhandler being dragged into an alley, but when you turn, you see nothing. Northwest. North. Base gate. This is the entrance to the gate of the security base. The base road continues northwest. Record. Northwest. The gate is closed. Guard jabbing you painfully with the point of his weapon informs you that non-military personnel are not allowed beyond this point. Record off. The diffuse glow of the sun is nearly straight overhead, another gray noontime. Southeast. A thin teenager passes you, kicking a dented tin can. South. A faded sign on the boarded-up doors reads, Symphony closed until further notice. That's got to be worth some points. In the world is messed up. The symphony has been shut down. The old Rockville High building was purchased by the Church of God's Word after the public school system shut down in 2058. The building has exits at the eastern and northwestern corners. Record, look, get that description on the record. Northwest, Reverend Kennedy. Southwest. Oh! Interesting. We're at the athletic field of the old high school. This is an outdoor athletic field for the Vincent School, with facilities for baseball and soccer, as well as tracks and field events. Bleachers line one side of the field, and there are exits in the fence to the northwest, east, and northwest. Several of the larger children gather around you menacingly. We don't allow animals onto church land, Pops, one of them says, poking you sharply in the chest with his fingers. Some of the others begin picking up stones. Record. Record feature activated. A circle of older children closes in on you with heavy rocks. In the background, you can hear younger ones chanting a familiar rhyme. Pick an apple, bake a pie, animals deserve to die. For a moment, the entire field seems frozen in a tableau. Then a volley of stones is unleashed. One strikes you in the forehead. Simulation terminated. Good. Okay, man. Where you at, Perlman? You need to see this shit. It's like, we haven't seen enough yet to really decide. Well, the plan might still be a good idea. We haven't got enough data to really decide this. Like, I was stoned in public by children who belong to the Church of fucking Evil. You dream of your You dream of your childhood and later of Jill. 6 hours have passed. Enter communication mode. Damn it. Enter communication spelled correctly mode. Oops. Communication. Maybe it's communications. How did I spell it wrong? Yeah, it's supposed to be communications. I actually spelled communication correctly. Be off. Z. Get your lazy ass in here. Get your lazy ass in here, Perlman. The world will be destroyed in only 40 or 50 years. You must hurry. Dr. Perlman walks into his office carrying a cup of coffee, and his computer starts screaming, I was stoned to death by zealot children. Perlman, watch recording. I spelled Perlman wrong. Perlman, God damn it. And I'd say God, even though God is apparently an evil enemy in the future. You know, or his children are certainly acting up, if that's how you want to say it. Oh, you've recorded something interesting, eh? It's not like that's the only thing you ever pop up to tell me. Oh, much faster than usual, he comes back and says, we've finished viewing the recording buffer for your request. Prism, several of my colleagues and I have finished viewing the recordings that you made, and everyone agreed that 2051, 61, and 71 all look disturbing, but there wasn't anything interesting from 2081. Perhaps things turn around. Oh, I suppose it's possible. Maybe you could collect some more data, make some more recordings, then report back to us. Well, I've got to run, but I'll talk to you later. He leaves the room. Okay, folks, let's call it a video, because he's not convinced. We were stoned to death by school children, and he's not convinced. There's probably more little interesting tidbits in 51, 61, and 71. But to me, it's obvious that 81 is the year where we need to finally convince this guy that the world is a frickin' nightmare. So let's. I'm going to save. I saved the game. I could. I wanted to kind of cut off my recording for the evening, but I could probably get in one more video if I think that in the next video we can go to 2081. Otherwise, I don't think I can be bothered tonight. So let's. I just saved. Let's enter simulation and let's see if we can actually go to 2081 yet. Light blue 98. I have mixed feelings here. Part of me wants to do this, and part of me is just like, put it off till later. I'm already depressed. 41. 2081. Invalid entry. Try again. 40 years in the future takes us to 2071. Okay, apparently we haven't seen enough shit in 2071 yet. So I am going to cut it off right now. When we come back, I guess we got to go to 2071. I think I recall that it's not a matter of... Hold on, sleep. There's no bed here. It's easy. A woman dressed in gauzy red fabrics, quite obviously a prostitute, enters the building with a man garbed in church robes. Time passes. A scream comes from a nearby building. Before you can even determine the direction, it has stopped. Somebody hit me from behind and stole all my stuff. An ugly mob bearing signs and banners of church symbols, possibly looking for a lynching victim, appears down the street. You begin looking for a hiding place. Unfortunately, the mob turns into an adjoining street. You stay frozen for a minute as the sounds from the mob recede. So there are lynch mobs wandering the streets. Some of these are just random things that can happen anywhere. But I think you have to spend a certain amount of time at each simulation before you're allowed to jump to the next one. It's not a matter of how much you see. There's the mob again, the prostitute again. Panhandler, scream, gust of wind, ugly mob. Yeah, I'm just getting the same things over and over. It is night. See if we can get back to our own home. At this point, I just want to get home and go and sleep for the night and see if we can... Elman University, Elman Park, Southwayne Park, Parkview Apartments, unlocked door. Spend enough time in the simulation to let us go deal with something else. Oh, I don't have my key. You're not holding the sleep. What? There's no bed here. That makes more sense. Yeah, I got mugged, so I can't get into my apartment. A surge of adrenaline fear passes through you as sirens all around begin wailing. Oh shit, an audio sine wave announcing the beginning of curfew. Oh, we got mugged. We don't have the key to get back into our apartment. By this time, although it waits until after you've actually visited her before it will happen, Jill should, however, have been dragged off by the police to be killed by this point, or taken to a work camp or whatever happened to her. She wasn't answering the door anyway, so I doubt that she would actually let us in. I think we need to turn record on and wander around in the night after curfew and see what happens. Rod houses, row houses. Sorry. East Bend, Southeastern River, power station, recording buffer's half full. So far, nothing's happened to me on my curfew. I was kind of figuring something interesting would happen. Now I've gone over with this recording at this point. We're at the power station entrance. Go northeast. We go northwest, east into an alley. The alley, which begins to the west, ends east here at the back doorway, through which loud Raucous music can be heard. East, bar. This is a tiny smoke-filled bar with exits to the west and northeast. Loud, distorted music comes from an old jukebox. Battered wooden stools are the only seating. The bar is filled with tough-looking serfs and black marketeers. Pier, now we're at the pier. Northwest. I'm annoyed about the fact that we're going to run out of recording space and then probably get killed for being on after curfew. Main Wicker. Okay. A police car pulls up next to you and a fat, leering officer leans a red face out the window. Hey, geezer, ever hear a curfew? Even from 3 meters away, you can smell the odor of beer from the car. The barrel of a pellet gun suddenly emerges from the window, and as you turn to run, a tremendous explosion from behind is followed by a spasm of pain. A drunk cop shoots you in the back. Wow. Be off. Where's Perlman? Perlman's not here because it's like in the middle of the freaking night. Dream of our childhood, and we dream of Jill. Now it's like 5:46 in the morning. Communication. No, enter communication mode, damn it. Be off. Let's wait for his lazy ass to come in. But don't hit Z and enter too fast, JG, because you don't want him to pop in for just a second, then leave before we can tell him, look at the frickin' recordings, you ass! The cops are killing us! And I did accidentally wait one extra time. Barrelman, watch recording. Drunk cops kill you when you're out after dark. It's a frickin' Pink Floyd song, man. Now he's making us wait a long time. Prism, several of my colleagues have agreed. He says exactly the same thing. So now let's try entering the simulation. Yellow 50. This time we'll save the game. Well, we should have saved the game already, but we'll see. This time we ought to be able to get into another time period because, I mean, what else do they want me to show them from that time period? We were shot by a drunk cop. We were stoned by children. Yellow 50. I think we've established that the future under the plan is bad. 96. Perlman really, he's like, oh, things could turn around. Yeah, 50 years into the future. Okay, let's save our game. And we'll call it a video here. I will read you the text that's on the screen when we come back. But I will go ahead and do one more video tonight, even though I wasn't planning to, because now we're at 2050 or 2081. You've got to be like 80 years old, actually. I don't know if the simulation takes that into effect, but if you had let's say that you were about 30 when you had a small child, roughly 30, give or take. 50 years have passed, so you are 80, give or take. So, yeah, this is not a nice thing for an old person to be seeing. But we're going to end the video when we come back. Let's see if things turn around to get better in 2081. What do you think, folks? I think that it's all going to work out for the best. That the plan will redeem itself in 2081. And that, Steve Maretsky has been playing a joke on us the whole time. And actually, he's totally in favor of conservative ideology. We'll find out for sure next time in the next video. I want to thank you guys very much for watching and listening. And not killing yourselves before I could get this far on this LP. This is pretty much the most depressing game I've ever played. Well, LP, I should say. I can't think of that many more depressing games than this I've played either. But we'll be back with more. So, keep those razor blades handy and get in a tub full of hot water and settle in for more. Thanks, folks. See you then.